I'm gonna take this phone for. All right.
All right. Peace, Tulsa Real Estate Fund family. All those on Facebook, IG. We are happy, and you know it. And we clap our hands. No. Super happy Quarantine Friday. Just 6 days away from the historic final capital raise of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. We are here at our house, the Black House, in real life. I'm talking to multiple cameras. You'll see my eyes shift from time to time during our live stream today. But today's focus, I'm gonna get this camera down a little bit. Cool. There we go. All right, guys, today's focus is going to be, let me see if I can fix this. I want to get my Treff camera together too. Let me see, Treff, we're gonna work this out together. I'm trying to be like kind of fancy here. Actually, that ain't gonna work. Back to normal plan. All right, guys, today's talk today on Treff Talks, we're going back to our Treff Facts. Hey, King Gene, can you text me to my bat phone our Treff Facts real quick?
Copy.
We'll talk about our Treff Facts again. We're gonna be talking about trust and transparency. Transparency and trust is one of our facts that the Tulsa Real Estate Fund does offer audited financials done by a third party CPA, an auditing agency that audits our financials. And we disclose those financials to the public in real life through sec.gov. It's part of our commitment to transparency. Let me make sure my volume's up for my folks that are on IG Live. So guys, I'm Tulsa Real Estate Fund founder, Jay Morrison, casual attire. We are chilling on a Friday at the Black House during the quarantine. The governor of Georgia has opened up many businesses. We are not opening. We are not fools. We will not run out into the world and see who catches COVID-19 first. So we are still working remotely, but we are promoting, we are announcing our 6-day countdown of the historic Tulsa Real Estate Fund. And we're going to get into our 12 Treff Facts. I want all you guys to check your emails, make sure you're tapped in. And we want to encourage everyone to at least consider partnership with our company. I'm going to breeze through these today. We went over them extensively yesterday. And then I want to take questions from those on live stream, on Facebook, questions from those on Tulsa Real Estate Fund Facebook. Let's do it, man. Transparency, I'm an open book. Let's talk. So let's run through our Treff Facts for those who don't know. Tulsa Real Estate Fund. The historic Tulsa Real Estate Fund has raised over $8.75 million. That's $8,750,000. We read that number. In less than 2 years, just $1,550,000 shy of surpassing Marcus Garvey in the Black Star Line. And we've done that from mobilizing 10,000 prospective co-owners and investment partners. So a couple of things that are important to that. We mentioned Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Garvey in the Black Star Line, because they have held the record for years on capital raising within a Black-owned company for the advancement of Black people. Marcus Garvey was a historic speaker, entrepreneur, activist, and leader and ancestor in our community, and his company was called the Black Star Line. Now, our fund, we said we've raised nearly over $8,750,000 from 10,000 prospective co-owners, partners, and investors, right? And we use that term co-owner and partner very intentionally, because this is a fund where we're not focused on donations or GoFundMes or collection plates or many things where you can contribute to a cause, but you have no ownership or equity or partnership in the cause. Now, it's a passive investment. So it doesn't mean that we make decisions with all 10,000 of our partners, but it does mean all partners have an equity interest in our fund, right? So we got that. Next Treff Fact, the historic Tulsa Real Estate Fund is the largest Black-owned company this century, this last 100 years, and the second largest in American history to have successfully implemented equitable group economics. So what we have done is we have galvanized, right? Because our fund minimums are $500. We have galvanized, again, nearly 10,000 prospective investment partners who've all chipped in to raise this capital for us to execute group economics. What's an example of group economics? One example is the Black House we're sitting in today, right? This 30,000 square foot building, this Class A office space, this 2.6 acre campus on this opportunity zone here in Atlanta, Georgia, the East Point District, and just 5 minutes from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, just 2 miles from Tyler Perry's studio. We own this building free and clear with no mortgage, right? So TREFFACS. We go to more TREFFACS. Again, transparency and trust is the theme of tonight's talk. So let's have transparency. TREF provides financial transparency through audited annual financials by a third-party independent auditor, which are filed with the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission. So it's not a fund where our financials are never disclosed. You give us, not give us, but you invest or partner with capital, and you don't see any kind of financial reconciliation or reporting or where the capital went. You don't get only our opinions, but you actually get an opinion from a third-party independent CPA and auditor who makes an opinion on our fund financial health or any adverse dealings or understandings they see. And so our 2019 audit ended with an opinion that there are no adverse opinions by our auditor, right? Which is a good thing. 4, TREF has given working class families the opportunity to own interest in a diverse multi-million-dollar portfolio for an industry low minimum investment of $500. Meaning those who invest just $500 have ownership in this Class A office space, asset, media hub, shared workspace, business empowerment center, as well as the rest of the multi-million-dollar portfolio in which we own or participate in as a lender or syndication partner or collateral partner or developer or any many ways that we participate in real estate deals and opportunities. TREF's current portfolio projected stabilized value is $12.8 million. So we project the stabilization of our assets, their value, the profitability, the net operating income, and all that within our fund. We have a projected value of $12.8 million in our assets upon stabilization from the $8.75 million we've raised so far. TREF co-owning partners and members are eligible to receive an 8% preferred cumulative return and 50% of future profits. So meaning before profits are split, our fund partners are eligible for 8% preferred return. This is a long-term investment. It's not a guaranteed investment. It'll be illegal for me or non-compliant of me to tell you it's a guaranteed investment. But it is an opportunity for you to be eligible for 8% returns, which is 8% on 500 is $40, 8% on $1,000 is $80, 8% on $10,000, $800, 8% return, preferred return, meaning you get that before profits are split, and it's cumulative, meaning it adds up every year, even if it's not paid on any given year. So for our first 2 years of our fund, we have not made a distribution or dividend payment as we are investing and stabilizing. That's not so super abnormal to be able to invest in a diverse portfolio. And as we're stabilizing the entire portfolio and building the company up from June 1st, 2018, we are getting to a point of stabilization and inevitably, hopefully, prayerfully, and with good work, profitability. And then we make our distributions and dividends. Not to mention, we would be walking a compliance nightmare, line nightmare, if we were paying distributions right now while we're still raising capital. Our legal counsel has recommended that we not make distributions while we are currently actively raising capital, because that can be looked at as a Ponzi scheme. If you're raising new capital, but then dispersing capital to other people, it's like, hey, you're raising new capital, but you're paying these people. Well, are you paying these people with these people capital? And it becomes a whole hairy, scary nightmare. And so we're having our final capital raise April 29th for us to be able to be in position to, outside of a compliance nightmare, be able to be in position to offer dividends and distributions, because we are having our final capital raise, final chance for partnership, and this opportunity of ownership within our company. 7, TREF 7, TREF's projected IRR is 8.7% by 2024, assuming fund liquidity event. if our fund were to sell all our assets by 2024, our projection is that with the cash flows and value we would have created, we would be able to pay everyone off their full 8% every single year that was owed and be able to reach an 8.7% IRR as a fund. 8, TREF has provided millions of dollars of private financing to Black-owned development firms across the country, including nearly $1 million of capital to Black female developers. So outside of developing assets like this ourselves, as a fund, as a company, which our partners own, we also lend or partner in other deals, syndications, and developments. And we've done so by nearly $1 million to Black female developers and millions to other minority or Black developers throughout the country. And we'll get to what that impact has had on the economy. Number 9, TREF developed the state-of-the-art Legacy Center, AKA the Black House, in Atlanta, Georgia, on a 2.6-acre campus to serve as a 30,000 square feet, Class A commercial building and qualified opportunity zone, providing media space, affordable shared workspace, event space, and small business resources. Now, some of you guys might already be excited about partnering with us. I want to give it to you right now. You can invest with us. You can partner with us. You could be a co-owner with us at investwithtref.com. You go to investwithtref.com to learn more about our fund, to see our fund disclosures. We'll show you, we'll give you the links to the sec.gov. We'll give you the links to our financials. We'll give you our portfolio highlights. We'll give you about our fund, all that at investwithtref.com. And we'll give you a button and link and multiple opportunities to invest with us right from that site. And after you go hit that button, it's 7 easy steps to invest with us. Next, TREF has bought back, developed, and co-manages 2 city blocks of 98 rental units in Macon, Georgia. So we always talk about buying back the block. Well, we have bought back the blocks and developed the blocks, 98 units of rental units in Macon, Georgia, on a little over 2 city blocks of real estate that we own together. Number 11, TREF is professionally managed by a group of real estate and business experts led by founder, me, business mogul Jay Morrison, who is an 18-year real estate veteran, former licensed realtor and licensed mortgage professional, active developer, consultant, activist, and accomplished CEO. The fund has a strong professional team that work with us and for us. And I have been in this business 18 years now that I've been in the business and have done so in a diversity of roles within the business. So not just one function in real estate. I've actually served in many hats and many functions of real estate. And number 12, TREF has stimulated local economies by creating nearly 100 jobs in under 2 years, most of which to minority contractors, vendors, and employees. So the Tulsa Real Estate Fund has, with the capital we raised, not only have we developed buildings, not only have we bought back blocks, not only have we funded female and Black-owned development companies, we've also created nearly 100 jobs for vendors, contractors, and our internal staff, all through, again, the practice of group economics, how we recycle our dollars within our community, right? Investments come in, we're recycling that into the community through jobs, opportunities, developments, through lending and capital. This is what group economics looks like in real life, what Black Wall Street looks like in real life. And this is the spirit of Marcus Garvey, the UNIA, and the Black Star Line. The UNIA, in which I'm a part of. I am a current active member of the UNIA, the United Negro Improvement Association, Marcus Garvey's, not foundation, but organization, which still exists today. I'm a local Atlanta member of the UNIA. So when I say Chasing Garvey, I'm not just saying it theoretically because it's cool as a hashtag. Chasing Garvey, I'm chasing the legacy that the ancestor laid for us, the blueprint he laid for us through his historical acts. One more TREF fact that we don't have written down, but I got today. So new TREF fact. New TREF fact is the Tulsa Real Estate Fund and its 9,700 plus partners, 10,000 plus or prospective co-owners and partners. The Tulsa Real Estate Fund has raised its capital and brought in that 9,700 person partnership plus from 22 different countries. In the spirit of Marcus Garvey and the UNIA and the diaspora, and through human and global initiatives, we have raised our $8,750,000 plus. That number is constantly going up by the day, by the hour. We have done that from over 22 countries on this planet, across the globe, internationally. These are facts and stats worth being proud of. I'm gonna stand. These are facts and stats for all of us to be proud of, especially those who have invested already, who plan on investing, who are a partner, who pray for us, who think about us, who promote us, who clap back for us, those who have interest in these assets. You are a part of a company that has partners in over 22 countries around the planet, around the planet Earth, around the globe, and have raised more capital as a Black-owned company for group economics through equitable cooperation and participation than any Black-owned company in the last 100 years. And from more people. That's a historic feat. It's dope, super dope. It's awesome, it's amazing, in my humble opinion. I can't say it's a fact, it's my opinion, it's amazing. But my opinion, that's amazing to do. And to be the second in history, and we're just 1,550,000 away, and actually less than that now, because every day we're raising capital, every hour we're raising capital, nearly every hour. I can't say exactly every hour, but definitely every day we're raising capital. So we're getting closer and closer to surpassing our legendary ancestor and his organization, the Black Star Line, in our capital raise efforts. And that's something for me, I'm super excited about. But what I want to give you all in this spirit of transparency and trust, I talked about it yesterday. I thought of this concept, this fund. God gave me a vision for this fund for us. He gave us a vision through me, God gave us a vision through me for this fund because we needed a way and a vehicle to practice group economics, cooperative economics, economic unity. And I thought about this vision in 2015 after the Freddie Gray uprising. And now here we are 2020 years later. And we not only did we execute, we didn't execute and no one took notice. We executed and really millions of people took notice. Only thousands invested, but millions of people took notice of what we're doing. And if thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions more took action, we could have, and we will eventually do some, I mean, this is already amazing in my opinion, but we can do some, enormous things, right? Again, 40,000 people, families, small businesses investing an average of $1,000 is 40 million overnight. 20,000 people investing $1,000 is 20 million overnight. You leverage that 20 million with a bank at an 80% loan to value, that's $100 million loan. Like, we can do amazing things together. I stand here in the Black House, surrounded by our ancestors. I stand here as proof and as for this to be evidence for us of what we can do together. This building is part of that proof. This building, this asset. We're standing in a building that we all own. I'm going to open up for question and answers. I don't want everything to be about a passionate speech or lecture, although I'm very passionate about this. Like, my family name is on this. My reputation's on this. My entire professional career and the legacy of Jay Morrison and the legacy of the Morrison family stands on what we do in this organization. People think I'm playing with this or this is some kind of game to me. This is not. I've worked hard. I've worked extremely hard these last 18 years and honestly last 24 years. I started in business at 15 years old on the wrong side of the tracks. And I've busted my butt. I spent more hours standing up, more hours on corners, more hours in offices, more hours on phones and computers, more hours talking and researching. You would be blown away by the amount of hours I put into researching things and reading and being self-taught, no college education. That's right, 11th grade high school dropout. who had the wisdom to go back to an alternative program and graduate. But I'm saying I put in a lot to be where I am today. This was not an easy journey for me. It wasn't an easy path. And so having something so public and so visible and where there's so much exposure, it means a lot to me. And we know the history of Marcus Garvey and the UNIA and then Black Star Line. They actually were infiltrated. The government actually put spies in the Black Star Line and Marcus Garvey, and they framed him for wire fraud and locked him up, and they extradited him out of the United States. We want to turn that and pivot from that part of the history for our historic run. We don't want that outcome. Although we have those who oppose us who would like to see an outcome like that for myself and for our company. And many of those, and all who I heard from, they all look like us, or at least look like me, depending on who's watching this. People that look like me are rooting that my outcome is like Marcus Garvey's outcome, where he was infiltrated, where he was imprisoned, where he was extradited, where the business failed. It went bankrupt because of them sabotaging our leader. My job is to make sure that I'm being as diligent as possible, that I'm protecting myself, I'm protecting the organization, I'm ensuring the organization, and that I'm doing my best efforts. I cannot promise you perfection. That'd be incorrect. That'd be a lie. It'd be false to promise you perfection. And for you to hold me to a standard of perfection, that would be faulty on your side. But I can promise us best efforts, integrity, honorability, and progress. That I can deliver progress. We didn't raise $8.75 million and Jay Morrison was out on private jets and vacations. I've never even been on a private jet in my life. Never even been on a private jet. We didn't raise millions and go live a lavish lifestyle. We raised millions and we went to work for the people. And that's proven in our track record. And it's 12 or 13 TREF facts that I read for you guys today. So let's open up for question and answers. Again, you could be a member, partner of our company, co-owner of our company, the Historic Tulsa Real Estate Fund, at investwithtref.com. I want you guys to consider partnering with us by April 29th is the last day. April 29th, 4/29/20 is the last day anyone will be able to be a member of this first Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Will there be other funds in the future? Maybe, probably, likely. Will I consult other influencers and leaders on how to create their own funds? I will. Let your favorite influencer, celebrity, political figure, religious figure, whoever, entrepreneur know that Jay Morrison, after the fund has its final raise, will be open for consultations to help them build their own funds. I'm not stingy with the information. I'm not going to be a hoarder. I'm not going to be a crab outside the barrel. Let's build. Let's take the 2 years of experience that I have, which is more experience running a fund than all your lawyers, than all your accountants, and all those who profess to be experts at running a fund or a Reg A Tier 2 A+ fund. Let's take my experiences and let's build more of these for all of us. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than the Morrison family, and it's bigger than the name and logo on my hat. TREF, Tulsa Real Estate Fund. It's about us. And my life body of work reflects my contribution, my service, and my sacrifice for us. Not my words, my work, the action. So let's open up question and answers. King Gene, question and answers. I'm gonna get on IG Live, see what you guys got for me. All Q&A welcome. I think it's in the Wall Street Trapper in here. Assalamu alaikum. Happy Ramadan, King. Let's see. Y'all know I'll be excited, man. I'm excited about this history, man. Comments is booming on IG Live.
Comments going crazy on Facebook.
Oh, it's the King from the Soul Circus. What's up, King? TREF Life. Hey, King, I'll get a testimonial from you. Inbox me on my page, King. For real, you gotta like you be repping us right. Let's see. Comments. I got so many comments I don't even know what to read. Let's see. Oh, I want to challenge everybody real quick. If you have not read anything on Marcus Garvey, at least Google Garvey, Marcus Garvey, but get the book, The Life and Lessons of Marcus Garvey, The Philosophies of Marcus Garvey. Yo, it's so dope. Listen, our schools didn't teach us about Garvey because he was, if every African in America, every black person read about Marcus Garvey when they all through elementary school, we all would be different. We would not want to be the working class. Garvey owned factories. He bought the Black Star Line was a fleet of ships. In 1920, 60 years after our enslavement, during the Spanish flu, this black man came from Jamaica to America to meet with Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington died. They couldn't link up. He went around the country galvanizing people, galvanized the whole diaspora around the globe. They had a workshop, a conference at Madison Square Garden back in 1920 with over 20,000 black people from around the world for 30 days at Madison Square Garden in 1920. Just 60 years after our enslavement, raised $800,000, equivalent to $10.3 million today, and then bought a fleet of boats and ships to go back to Africa and to do business with Africa in a whole diaspora, the Caribbean, South America, wherever black people were. If black people were reading about Marcus Garvey, if my mom and my dad and my grandma and us and our daughters and sons have all read about Marcus Garvey the way we've read about the Bible our whole lives, black people will be more liberated, independent today, and that's a fact in real life. Garvey owned factories, newspapers. He had the Black Nursing Corps. He had nurses. We had mechanics. He had 3 schools. Why do you think I got the J. Morrison Academy? Marcus Garvey. Own your own schools. Own your own funds. Own your own businesses. Chasing Garvey in real life. Not just red, black, and green flags. Not just the rhetoric of Garvey. Not just panels and books. I'm talking about infrastructure and work and businesses, mobilization, fearlessness. And what I loved about Garvey as well is Garvey was not about the blame game of Africans. He said African people. And I'm gonna take you guys, well, I can't for the live stream, guys, I can't take you to my office. I want to. In my office, I got my next live, I'll maybe try to come back to my office. In my office, I have a big portrait with a Garvey quote, "Up, up, you mighty race, accomplish what you will." And then I got a big portion of my office of this Garvey quote. Then on my other wall in my office is a big red, black, and green flag, which is the Pan-African flag. Red for the blood, black for the people, green for the land, the motherland, Africa. And so I learned these things and it invigorated me, but to see our ancestors have accomplished so much and to have galvanized so many people and mobilized it with no social media back in 1920, it would be a shame and a waste of my talents, gifts, and energy for me not to chase Garvey in 2020 today. And with your help and the help of our partners, we can live our ancestors' wildest dream 100 years later and say that there's a black-owned real estate crowd fund called Tulsa, named after Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, founded by O.W. Gurley and J.B. Stafford. And that they went out and they pulled together over 10,000 people to raise over $10.3 million, which is the reverse equivalent of the $800,000 that Garvey raised, counting inflation, to become the #1 black-owned company to practice equitable group economics ever in American history. That's what I'm chasing, the books. I said, in part of my language, if you got any children listening or any women or men who don't like curses, plug your ears. One of my most infamous quotes is, if you want to be legendary, the secret is simple. Go do some legendary shit. That's it. If you want to make the history books, if you want to be a legendary, you want to be an icon, it's very simple. Get off your ass and go do some legendary shit. Excuse my language. I want to be that direct for a second because words have power.
King,
so for us, yes, sir. Oh, the chat. Hold on, they got me doing my own technology. We're still quarantining here. We are remote and social distancing. We are not playing that. Georgia's open. We are closed. I'm clicking the chat, King. It's not working. Boom. All right, the chat. Let's see questions on the Zoom chat. And IG, I'm coming back to you guys as well. Gene, help me out. Let's see. Okay, purchase my first $500 TREF investment. Am I allowed to contribute more later? There will be no more contributions or no more shares, member units offered, no more securities offered after April 29th, midnight. That's anyone's last chance to invest in this company. That was from Jay Marsh. Walter Wynn. If there would still be open shares, I get new people not being able to invest, but why would existing investors be locked out from reinvesting or investing more? Great question. We are subject to the regulations. And so the regulations say that once we close our security offering, it is now closed. So the only way I believe you would be able to get more TREF shares is from other TREF members who want to sell their shares. And we're working on having an exchange board for that. If anyone wants to sell or tap out or exit or go precision, you can contact someone else maybe within the company that wants to exchange those shares. So I think that might be possible. But other than that, no new securities offered. Juan Presley, so when are you opening our bank? We have some talks and some plans around opening a bank. And this model is proof of concept of how we can do that. I won't get too much into that because people watching. If you have invested 500 already, when you reinvest, does it still have to be 500 increments or can it be done in 50 increments? So when you reinvest, if you already invested 500, it will have to be still a minimum of 500 to reinvest. So you can't say, okay, I invested 500 3 months ago, I'm gonna do 150 now. It can't be that way, just the way the system and the minimums are set up. And that was from Saifu Tarakwa. Let's see. Why we stopped crowdfunding. We haven't reached 50 million yet. So again, part of why we want to stop the crowd fund and the final capital raise is because if we keep raising to get to 50 million at the pace of our people right now, we'd never be able to pay distributions or dividends because we'd always be bringing in new capital. And it'll be a question of, if you pay distributions, was that from your profits or from new capital, which is a Ponzi scheme. So we have the opportunity to raise 50 million. It's simple. I got 420-something thousand followers on Instagram, 150,000 followers on Facebook. Total Real Estate Fund has 136,000 followers, 37,000 followers on Instagram, thousands more on Facebook. I got 100,000+ followers on YouTube, hundreds of thousands in our email. So if everyone took action, even at $500, that's 80,000 people investing $500. We would have our 40 million to our nearly 10 million now, 50 million done. So we can still reach 50 million by April 29th. It just takes 80,000 people to take action with $500. And we would have 50 million leveraged with a bank at 80% LTV is a $250 million loan or line of credit. It's a matter of fact of, do we want to take action and execute, or do we want to blog and talk and troll? Or do we actually want to put our money where our mouth is when we talk about group economics? And can folks afford it and understand what we're getting into? So opportunity is there to fill the fund up by April 29th. Nothing's stopping us from raising 50 million in a matter of days. Nothing's stopping us but us. How do I get my tax statement? Tried to log onto the website and was transferred somewhere else. Tax statements, K1s, they will be going out after we finish our financial audit, which has been slowed up by a global pandemic. We are working on that, and we'll be getting it out to everyone. And we sent multiple emails explaining that. All TREF investors, new and old, we communicate by email. All the important stuff, it's by email. Newsletters, updates, all that. Please read your TREF emails. Thank you. We got some new messages. Let me see. Read new messages. All right. When do dividends start to go out for shareholders? Dividends will be paid out, one, after we close our final capital call, because again, we don't want to pay dividends while we're raising capital. Two, when our assets are stabilized and become profitable. Remember, we're in a global pandemic right now. So we got 98 units, other units. We have over 100+ units, like 130 something units under our management, plus this office space, all that. So as we stabilize everything, stabilize means finish development, finish re-tenanting, renting, and get profitable. Again, any quarter or time period we allocate that's profitable, we are pressed to responsibly pay out dividends and distributions. There's no Listen, there's no better act of goodwill, of marketing, of favor, of financial responsibility, of fun activity, or any of all that I would love to do other than send out marketing now, or send out dividends. Now remember, we have over nearly 10,000 plus investors, and will be more by the time this is all done. We believe, we hope, we pray. So it cost us over $10,000 to mail out your dividends checks. So we're working on software too to be able to email or electronically give your dividend checks. So the fund can save $10,000 in mail. Last year alone, it cost us like $19,000 to send out the K1s. Like, you wouldn't know how expensive and how intricate this is unless you actually were in it and done it. And now you're in it as a passive partner. So I'm being transparent and telling you, you're talking about $20,000 in mail. So we're trying to kind of find ways to reduce those costs and be as good, best fiduciaries and responsible parties for our fund. All that good stuff. Do partners in the fund share in the revenue from the Legacy Center, office rentals, events, the production studio you're planning to build there? Yes. Our fund members, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, receives the profit flow up from our leases, from our events, from some of the financial services, right? Like the activity at the Legacy Center. I made sure it was my business to be a responsible partner of yours and fund manager. If I had just J. Morrison Academy or J. Morrison Companies stuff going on here, and our fund didn't participate in many of the activities that were going on here, to me, that would be irresponsible of me. So I structured it in a way where the fund can participate in all the activity and leverage my brand, my wife's brand, our partners in activity here, so the fund can receive profit flow from those activities. Great question. Do you own the land the building is on? Yes, we own all 2.6 acres of this land and the 30,000 square foot building. We own that with no mortgage, free and clear. I tried to invest in my LLC, was told it's a 5,000 minimum. Is there any lower arrangements? There's more paperwork involved with our LLCs and international investments. I will say this: if you email info@tulsarealestatefund.com, our investor relations team can certainly see about making an adjustment. We wouldn't want to turn you away from being an investment partner, but it is more complicated and involved to invest for LLC, which calls more man hours for us, and being transparent with you. It takes more time for international and company investments. So those minimums are not 500, they're higher. But we will work with you if there's a fair compromise, or we'll encourage you to invest as a person, if that can work. Again, our goal is to keep costs low and profits high. That's the goal. I'm gonna go to live stream real quick. Thank you guys. Let's see. Well, somebody said we need a Nat Turner picture here. We do. I agree. Jay Morrison, do you know your people are the chosen people of God and the government is under Satan attacking your people? I do believe we are a chosen people. That is a fact. We are the original people of the planet Earth. We're the first people that God put here on the earth. To me, that means we were chosen. Let's see. Somebody said, yes, direct deposit. That's a lot of mail, sir. How much will the dividends be to get your 10 shares? All right. So dividends. Dividends, again, are 8% preferred return, meaning it adds up every year. It's cumulative. So any year it's not paid, it still gets forwarded to the next year. And it's 8% of 500 is $40. 8% of $1,000 is $80. 8% of $2,000 is $160, right? That adds up every year cumulatively as you invest into the fund. Plus you get your share of any future profits. So all the projections I gave you in our 12 Trek Facts are very conservative projections. We don't, when you do financial models, you don't do them as a best case scenario, because that would be over promising. You actually do them as a worst case scenario. Even sometimes even worse than worst case scenario. So we are under promising and hopefully we can over deliver. So I tell you an 8.7% return by 2024, IRR, internal rate of return, but I hope we blow it away and it's 13 or 16%. And I believe we have the capacity to do that, especially with a depreciating market coming around the corner to our estimates. So, we look to be, again, to blow all those things out the water and just do our best by the whole company. All right, cool. My man, Ken W., you're back. Appreciate you. He said, why a 5.5% management fee and 50% profit split rather than a 20/20, which is considered the average. So Ken W., great question. I love this question. We got to make a clip out of this question. Why a 5.5% management fee and 50% of the profits, where billion-dollar hedge funds charge a 2% management fee and 20% of the profits, right? Here's why, Ken. One, we're capped at 50 million. So if we could raise uncapped to billions and have that, yes, if you're getting 2% of $1 billion, then that management fee certainly makes sense for the managers, right? Because at 10% of $1 billion is 100 million. 2% of $1 billion is 20 million. Our cap is 50 million and we only raised 8.75 million. So as a management company, if we got 2% of 8 million, it would barely make sense for our time and energy and resources to invest into the company. Not to mention, our 5.5% is all inclusive, so that 2% sometimes comes with exit fees, and sometimes comes with refinance fees, and sometimes comes with all kind of other contingency and fees. Ours does not. It's all disclosed 5.5%, right? Second or third point, wherever I'm at. The company that mentored me on this model, they charge 5.5%. They own assets in Manhattan. They own part of the United Nations. They own major assets in Manhattan, and their model was 5.5% and 50% of the profits. And they're an international company. So I thought, hey, good model, don't reinvent the wheel. And I broke down their model, and that's where we got that 5.5% from as well. Secondly, for the amount of reputational risk, the amount of energy, the amount of pioneering and trailblazing learning curve cost, and all that we put into the fund management company felt it was fair to us and best and fair for the fund partners to have one flat consolidated fee that we all disclose. And that is not in addition to any salary. I don't receive any CEO salary from our fund. I don't receive any brand ambassador or marketing salary. I don't personally receive it. All the energy you see from me, I don't get any salary. And then the management fee does not only go to me, it goes to a management company that is split between me and several other partners. So that's why the management fee, the 50% of the profits, again, the same thing. Our goal is to meet our 8% pref is higher than most companies 2 and 20. Most companies, like you said, can offer a 2 and 20. They don't have, most companies that have a 2 and 20 model, 2% management fee, 20% of the profits. They don't have a pref as high as 8%. Everybody thought I was crazy for making a commitment to an 8% pref. We could have said a 3% pref. Much less pressure on me to return a 3% pref or 4% pref or 6% pref. But we chose an 8% pref, and again, it was just part of our model. Yes, the 5.5% management fee was set at the original goal of 50 million, Ken, you're absolutely right. And that made sense that if we could reach 50 million in capital and perform at an 8%, that it made sense for the management company with no other fees to be able to make and earn 5.5%. If your management partners, your management company, Ken, can perform and meet and do their best ability to meet at 8% in future profits and take on the task and risk of running the company day to day, and they want to upfront disclose to you their compensation that they expect and that they want is 5.5%, that's what they feel is fair, and that's what those investors would need to feel is fair to be a part of the fund. We're not forcing it on anyone, but I come from the world of fair exchange, no robbery. So for the level of effort and energy that we're putting into the fund, Ken, we felt that that was, again, based on looking at other funds in their models, looking at other funds who charge a 2 or 3% but hide fees, and based on the compensation for our efforts, and based on our learning curve and everything else that we have to do, we felt that that 5.5% Ken was fair. That's it. That's our business model. It's 5.5% and 50% of our profits. And there's no one else who's come behind us to do it any differently or any better in this space. Everyone's welcome. We're not stopping anyone from, I have no intellectual property rights on Black-owned real estate crowdfunds. Everyone's welcome. Do your thing. Go see what it's about. You go see what it's about, offering industry minimum lows of $500 and teaching people on a daily about the fund and dealing with everything that comes with. Be happy. Be my guest. I want to see this. So again, that's our model, Ken. Let's take some more live stream questions. What is the max amount you can invest? So the max amount that you can invest is 50 million in 1 year. So you can invest millions in our fund. I'm ready to get started. Where do I start? Most important part, where do we get started? I'm typing it for everybody. Let's see. It's www.investwithtref.com. Typing it in. King Gene, type it in for us, please. www.investwithtref.com. Here's where you start. By April 29th, this is our opportunity. All right, King, I got you. You don't feel it's on par. King, you got the right. Not feels on par. 50% of the profits for the amount of work that goes into real estate acquisition and development for us is par and fair. Because guess what? There is no par for us. Par means on board with the standard. Show me the other Black-owned real estate crowd fund. Ken. Show me them, and we'll talk about a par discussion. They don't exist. So think about it. Most companies, when they develop a Class A office building, they don't have to put a fence and security around their building, right? Instantly when you buy an asset. With us being, with the history of Marcus Garvey, the history of Black Wall Street Total Real Estate Fund, the history of Black progress in America, and a history of self-hate of Black people in America, we have to literally spend more time, energy, and money to secure our assets and to secure our personnel, to secure our intellectual property, secure everything, because we are more exposed than the average company in the fundraising world. Most companies are not educating and empowering the Black and urban community. We are. It comes with a whole different level of risk, energy, and exposure. So again, Ken, our par is different from any pars. And for us, we feel at an 8% pref is not par. Those same companies you're talking about don't offer 8% pref. That's not par. So for us, we gave a little here, got a little here, we gave a little here, got a little here, fair exchange. For us, no robbery. And for those who believe in it, and if it doesn't meet you, our social good, our impact, historical significance, real estate model, economic model, if that's not for you, go to those funds who got 2 and 20, who are doing nothing for your community. Perfect. On to the next. Investwithtref.com. And I'm saying that with love. I'm not being a little sarcastic, so I apologize. But I'm saying that with love. You know what I mean? I'm saying this is what we're doing. We're doing the work. This is what it is to work. Like we can, but great questions. Transparency is important. Great questions, Ken. Please kick tires, poke holes. That's what we need. Why does a multimillionaire need to grab 50% of the profits of the goals equitable Black group economics? Great question. So you guys see me so loud in front of the camera all the time, you forget there's a whole company of people, staff that give their lives, their hours, their time, their weekends to support equitable group economics. And so when you have a multimillionaire who is giving his time from my daughters, from my wife, we're in quarantine, my wife is home, my daughters are home, I'm here for us. So why does a multimillionaire and the 50% profits doesn't go to me as a person? It goes to the management company, which is a group of people who all invested in an opportunity that no one's seen before in our community. So what if this would have failed? Would those same people have come and reimbursed us our time, our energy, and our dollars if this had failed? If we couldn't get off the ground? In entrepreneurship, you take greater risk than normal to pull off an idea. Therefore, you should be equally rewarded for your risk. So this again, this is not a donation. It's not a collection plate. And back to the management fee, the 5.5% management fee on top of that is not something that we get and that's it. It's actually owed back to the fund. So the 5.5% we have to earn from our activity and our production and our resources and our relationships and our execution of deals, and the 5.5% is paid back because all investors are due back their cash plus profits. So the 5.5% isn't like a off the top fee that the fund doesn't get back. It's actually owed back. So until you can understand the level of sleepless nights, what is one sleepless night worth to you? What is people calling you a scam and a fraud and ruining your reputation, your legacy, your daughters hearing about this? What is your life and freedom being on the line? What is the government subpoenaing you because of people talking about you publicly and making silly statements like you're a fraud and scam, and the government subpoenaing you and the stress on your family? What is that worth? What's the value of that for a leader to step out and take on the reputational risk, the legal risk, and the freedom risk, and the health risk to help advance us? What's that value for a multimillionaire or not? What's the value of your life? What's the value of peace of mind in real life? So transparency, though, we just having a talk. It's cool. I'm open for all questions. Don't feel afraid to ask anything. Trust and transparency. This is your brother talking. You want your brother on the front line? You want to say, brother, go to the front line, my brother. Risk it all, my brother. But I don't want you making too much. I only want you making nothing. Because you good. Just risk it all. Take time away from your family and your business. Risk your freedom, your reputation. Risk haters. Risk all that. But, you know, come on. We got to do better. Let's see. All right. Live stream questions. Are your properties protected by us? Insurance. Yes, our properties are all insured. And whenever we can, we go through Black-owned insurance agencies. What are prospects on tenants in the Legacy Center? Well, the Legacy Center is fully leased upstairs. Co-working, we're close to meeting our goals of our co-working first-year performer model. Once this pandemic is over, we have some great opportunities we're going to be announcing with the Legacy Center there. And our back phase 2 is being built out hopefully this summer if everything gets kicked back again with this global pandemic as well. Great questions. I want all the questions. Don't feel like I can't ask questions. No beefing in the chats. This is love. This is family. Family should be able to have tough conversations as long as everybody's coming from a spirit of love and progress. It's all good. I don't mind. It's only when you're coming from a perspective of tearing down without any open-mindedness for progress and building that I have an issue. If you want to ask me tough questions, but it's out of the spirit of progress and accountability, I'm all for it. Ken, you just got a lot of questions. I mean, you haven't asked, like, it's all skeptical, it's all half glass full questions. The manager, if he doesn't cover staff, no, it does not, to answer your question. Staff is a big one. Ken, I got a question for you now. Are there any items in your closet? Are there any vacations you've taken? Are there any liability expenditures you've made that have cost at least $500 that you've never seen anything back on? It's just a question. I just want to know. Is there any one item purchases you might be very frugal and be like, no, King, never. I just want to know. And King, have you ever been on the front line, socially or politically or economically empowering our community? You may have. You might be a super activist. I don't know. Just asking. Transparency. Let's see. Do you sometimes feel like just dealing with people that believe in you and forgetting about Treff? Treff has been an exercise of patience and love. And God has given me this opportunity to strengthen my resilience as a servant leader for our people. And without stress, there is no strength. And so I appreciate this because this invaluable opportunity to be the fund manager, the founder, and the CEO of the first Black-owned real estate crowdfund in the history of America. And by April 29th, if we raise another $1.5 million, I'll be the CEO of the largest Black-owned company to ever execute equitable group economics in the history of America. And if it took all this for God to prepare me for that and what else he has in store for me at only 39 years old. Who knows where I'll be when I'm 50, 60, 70, 80, God willing, with health. If he has that in store for me and my family, and shout out to my wife, she's on the chat, peace queen, my queen. If this is what it took to test me out, like God want to see what I'm made of, then I got to stand up for the challenge. And like Nipsey said, rest in power, Nipsey Hussle. We have the Marathon Garden outside the Black House. I don't stress out, King. Weight on my shoulders, I put my chest out, King. So if this is what it means, I'm built for it. I got some stressful days though, I ain't gonna lie, but I'm built for it. How do you justify setting up shop in an opportunity zone knowing that they are specifically designed to suck wealth off Black communities? Great question. All right, check this out. We're in an opportunity zone. Check this out. Check how genius your boy is, your brother. Every business housed here at the Legacy Center, because the Legacy Center is in an opportunity zone, every business that's housed here is a business eligible for opportunity zone capital, meaning every business at the Black House could go out to the public market and entice rich and wealthy investors who need capital gains, discounts, and depreciation to invest their capital into the Black-owned businesses here at the Legacy Center, so that investor could get a 10% tax coupon the first 5 years, 2% the next 7%, whatever it is, the next 2 years, 5% the next 2 years, excuse me, or 15% total tax coupon. And with the investment into any business here at the Legacy Center as an opportunity zone qualified business, that business and that investor will receive total deference of tax of capital gains tax after 10 years. Now, I said that all fast and jumbled up, but for those who know opportunity zones, you understand the value of that. So us being in an opportunity zone positions the businesses housed here to go out and have leverage and incentive for private capital in the market to invest in the businesses here, that part. I'm a playmaker. Like, y'all gonna really get to know me. I'm a playmaker. I'm not an Instagram guy. Do this in real life. Let's see what else we got. Insane. Okay. Do we have to simply apply to the fund by April 29th or complete the approval process by 29th? Tracy Guyton. Tracy, you have to go through the full process by the 29th. Your qualification and full approval may take a couple days after, but you must have completed your process of submitting your investment. Let's see. It's not about you making too much. It's about group economics, right? Yeah, for sure. It's about group economics, right? Am I not part of the group? I'm excluded from the group. Let's see. Can you invest for other underage child? So you can invest for your heirs or your children, but you must do it under your name first, and you can put your children in your own personal will, or afterwards, you can work with Computershare or transfer agent, and they can work on a process of transferring your shares over to your children. So yes, you can invest and with your children, that whole part, or for your children, for your heirs. That's the dope part. That $500,000, $1,500, $5,000 investment, $10,000 investment, $25,000 investment, you can put that up for your heirs as a long-term investment, knowing that you own the Black House and all the commercial assets and private lending for female Black developers and all the activity we do, and let that sit and bubble for your heirs, and they know what they own also in real life. That's another dope part. Again, by April 29th, investwithtreff.com. Let's see. He said, if you're scared, don't invest. He's not holding a gun to your head. Someone said, how does one make money back? So I know some of you guys are late to the live stream. We broke it down. We make our investments and dividends back as our assets perform through rental income, refinances, equity, through the mortgage payments that we receive back from the money that we lend. From doing the real estate activity, we make revenue. As that revenue is more than our expenses, we make net profit. From that net profit, we make a decision to make distributions. That part. Let's see. I got you, Ken W. He said, I like the concept. I'm just asking my questions. I'm not mad. The brother want to ask his questions to make sure that he making an informed decision. King, I'm not mad. That's all. All I want you to know is that I can't promise you perfection, but I can promise you my best effort, progress. I can promise you sincerity. So I can give you. I can promise you that I'll be on the front line like I've always been. Front line, Alfred Wright. Front line, Freddie Gray. Front line, Alton Sterling. Front line, Otis Bird. Front line, Shaquille Clemens. Front line for us. All right, so our Tulsa Real Estate Fund just tapped out. Let's see if I can save it. All right, that just went. And we are here on our Facebook Live. This has been a great live. Let's see if we got any more questions. Again, investwithtreff.com is it live right now. Yeah, it's live right now. We lit. All right, thank you guys for joining. Matter of fact, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to back it real quick. King James, hold on for a second. We're going to go for a couple more minutes. We're going to bring Treff back up. Let's get it. We got 6 days left, man. It's crunch time. It's overtime. 6 days left. Real life. Let's get it, get it. Get some water for me. Trapper came back to back. I'm super excited. We got 6 days left chasing Garvey in real life. How about that? Chasing the Honorable Marcus Garvey in the Black Star Line. Live here from the Black House. See, this is what I love. I'm gonna say this theoretically because it's not true. Under my leadership, this has never happened. But we could have raised capital, right? Hey, Treff, we back. We could have raised capital, raised millions, and been some influencer or some organization where you couldn't find out nothing they did with the money. Listen, we've raised the capital, and we can show you several $1 million of investments and private lending and real I'll take my shoes off. Real physical assets. We own this shit. We didn't disappear. We ain't run with the bag. We ain't fumbled the bag. The Black House in real life. We standing on couches in real life. For the same $500 you spent on a club, on a bottle of liquor, you could have owned a piece of this asset in a multi-million-dollar real estate fund, the first Black-owned real estate crowdfund in the history of America, for the same price of a bottle of Hennessy in a club with a sparkle attached that you would have never seen back again. So my point is, you know I'm dramatic, guys. It's just me. I'm dramatic. My point is, we're showing you the progress. We're showing you the performance. Sorry, I was on our couch. My bad. All the queens like, get off that couch, boy. Listen, I'm showing, all the kings like, man, I want to do that every day of my life. Listen, I'm showing y'all the progress. That has to account for something in our community. For a Black man who came from the trap, who came through prison, who came through work release parole, who came through bankruptcy, who came through the ills and the mud of the community to organize and mobilize millions of dollars, have a clear 2019 audit opinion from a third-party independent auditor, meaning I didn't mess the bag up, and to perform and produce real assets that has to account for something within the community. It has to. Because the psychological thought was, I read the comments, I read the blogs I saw, was that, oh man, they raised millions. Watch what happens. They're gonna run it, they're gonna run for the bag. Watch what happens. And listen, we had a third-party CPA, an independent auditor come in. They didn't say that. We resurrected the Black House, put our ancestors on the wall. Stabilized value of our portfolio, 12.8 million. We raised 8.75 million. Stabilized value of our assets, 12.8 million. It got to account for something. I know, no dividends just yet. No distribution. We can't even compliantly even authorize dividends just yet without being scrutinized, because you can't, again, through counsel's opinion, raise capital while you're distributing capital. You got to stop one. So my point is, I get it, not perfect. I would have loved to give distributions the first year. I swear to you. We're working on it. I get it. So you can mark that box. They ain't paying no dividends yet. You're right, we didn't. We didn't pay distributions yet. Can we show where the money went? Yup. Can we show the assets? Yup. Is it disclosed and transparent online? Yes. Is it on SEC.gov? Yes. Did we organize and do we own this asset free and clear? Yes. Do we have an apartment complex owned by us, 98 units over 2 blocks, buy back the block? Yes. Did we fund 2 black female developers on nearly 21 units for $1 million? Yes. Do we fund several other black-owned developers for millions of dollars? Yes. Are we the first black-owned real estate crowdfund in the history of America? Yes. Have we created nearly 100 jobs in under 2 years? Yes. Were majority of those jobs to black and brown people? Yes. In real life. So, what I'm just trying to say is, for a black man on 3rd and Center Street, Somerville, New Jersey, who came off the block of South 10th and Springfield of Newark, New Jersey, in 2005, entered the real estate game full time. For a black man that first heard about real estate as a profession in 2002 while on parole. As a black man that went through a market crash, depression, divorce, and bankruptcy, to bounce back and raise millions of dollars and have a third-party auditor be able to account for every single dollar down to the $0 and resurrect 12.8 million in assets of stabilized value, got to count for something. No college education. Beat the trap in real life. While running another multi-million-dollar business. While being a husband, while being a father, while being an activist. Got to count for something. I know I ain't perfect. I know it's not all perfect. I know it's not the full cup of water y'all want. I know the glass might be half full to some, but you got to count for something. Nobody else did it before me. No other company did it before us. Shout out to my rappers, but they ain't do it. Shout out to my preachers, but they ain't do it. Shout out to my activists, but they ain't do it. Shout out to my real estate moguls, they ain't do it. Shout out to my ball players, they ain't do it. We did it, and did it the best since Garvey. And 6 days away from being able to legitimately say, did it the best all time. In real life, you gotta count for something. I ain't no Jay-Z. I ain't no LeBron. I ain't no Jordan. I ain't no Oprah. I ain't no Big Meech. I'm a pretty cool Jay Morrison though. I put up more numbers than any black man in history other than Marcus Garvey for a group economics equitable fund for our people. And 6 days away from, God willing, surpassing our ancestor who gave me the blueprint, whose spirit lives through me. Garvey's spirit lives through me. That's in real life, whether you like it or not. I know it. I felt it when I was right here, 5 feet away, at our Black History exhibit at the Black House, when King Eric brought Marcus Garvey's plate and spoon, and I asked him to hold Marcus Garvey's plate he ate off of on a black star line, the steel plate with the UNIA logo on it. At that time, I felt Garvey's spirit in me. That's a fact. So I can't give everybody everything that we want, but, you know, just be my best Jay Morrison. That's all. My calling, my life. More questions. What is an opportunity zone? So an opportunity zone is a legislation the government passed that basically allows wealthy people to take their capital gains money, and instead of spending, or instead of giving the IRS 30% or 20% of the capital gains money, they can take that capital gains money, don't pay the IRS, throw that capital gains money into opportunity zone fund businesses or real estate, and then they get a discount on how much they got to pay the IRS. And then if that money makes them more money over 10 years, they ain't got to pay no taxes on the profits of that money. That's what an opportunity zone is. It's an opportunity for wealthy people to be able to defer taxes. Will this be the last fund? I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I'm excited to consult others on their funds, but this will be our last fund for a little bit. I don't see myself, I got some family obligations. We got the J. Morrison Academy. Honestly, my best gift in the world is teaching and translating. I'm probably one of the best teachers y'all will ever see. I'm a master teacher. I know there's all kind of gurus online these days and everybody's a teacher and all that. One of the best teachers you'll ever see when it comes to real estate, business, credit, finance. That's my gift, is translating and teaching. So I want to get back to more of that. Still got multiple developments we got going on the real estate and business side. Got a whole family to tend to. Got a book or two to write. So yeah, this will be our last fund for a while, other than me consulting others on their own funds. I will consult people on funds, and I'll help be a co-manager or advisor on funds, but this is all we got right now. You know, let's see who else step up. So let's see. Let's see other questions. The law to allow, oh, somebody said the law to allow this type of crowd fund isn't even a decade old. Isn't comparing this to Garvey and our historical false equivalent? No, not really. I mean, the Jobs Act is not only a decade old, you're right. President Obama introduced the Jobs Act in 2015. Prior to that, folks could not invest into non-accredited investors could not invest into these kind of funds. So there was not an opportunity for that. I do agree with you with that. After the Great Depression, there was an opportunity, and it was an opportunity before Garvey. But there has been an opportunity over the last several years. Nevertheless, the actual historical facts and numbers, regardless of how history played into it, it's kind of like saying, if the first track athlete ran a 5.140 and they were first, but then Carl Thomas or whoever else ran a 4.740, but they had new protein because it's newer in history, is that unfair? Or it's like saying, well, if Wilt Chamberlain was the #1 leading scorer, but he was the tallest in the league, but then Jordan came in as #1 leading scorer, but Jordan had better trainers and better balls and better whatever, is that whatever that word you use? The fact is the fact. The history is the fact. Does history change and give an advantage to different generations? Absolutely. I'm actually quite ashamed that we only could raise 8.75 million and we got social media, and Marcus Garvey raised 800,000, equivalent to 10.3 million with no social media, right? I get that. But the fact is, we're living out Garvey's blueprint, and it's not about so much the comparison, it's about we're focusing on, again, the half glass full, instead of flipping that glass and saying, wow, King, let's control our own narrative and let's promote Black excellence so more Black boys who might relate to a Jay Morrison, who might have dropped out of high school, or might have been in a trap, or might have came home from prison, can see the greatness they can be like a Jay Morrison, although they came from humble beginnings, Section 8 like Jay Morrison, welfare like Jay Morrison, WIC like Jay Morrison, been abused like Jay Morrison, been in shelters like Jay Morrison, been homeless like Jay Morrison, been begging like Jay Morrison, been divorced like Jay Morrison, with a teenage dad like Jay Morrison, daughter was born in prison like Jay Morrison. Maybe that Black boy might see some greatness in Jay to tap into his full gifts because of what Jay historically accomplished. We could do that, or we could say Jay's accomplishment really isn't that important because Garvey did it in a different era and whatever you're saying. So we could do that too, I guess. However we want to do it, Black folks. Let's see. On social media, one of those TREF investors, we have been told that we are going bankrupt. What are your thoughts about that? Gervais, somebody, have you been told that by your fund manager, or you been told that by a non-fund involved blogger with no credibility? I don't get it. Why are we, what are we talking about? Is that what we said? Is that on a SEC document? Is that, who said that? Who said that? Where? Tell me that. Gervais? Brian, I don't have to pronounce your last name, I'm sorry. Yeah, just tell me who said that. Let's correct that. I mean, that's honestly slander, it's defamation, and it's a lie. What access do TREF members have to Legacy Center? TREF members have access to tour the Legacy Center for free. If you want to be a member here, you have to pay the member. Actually, we have a discount for TREF members to be a member here. Boom, boom. Let's see. When is the fund closing for new investors? Fund is closing April 29th. Again, midnight, April 29th, your last chance to invest, be a co-owner, partner of the Historic Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Let's see. Any low-income housing in the plan? Yes, we actually have, we're working on a cool condo conversion, low-income housing play. And we're working with a few different cities on some low-income housing opportunities. And we will fund or partner in your low-income housing opportunities. So remember, we're not just here to develop, we're here to be a private lender and fund partner as well. Just programmed to be negative toward each other. I'm reading the positive stuff too. I'm just answering the questions. Somebody said, how much to invest? You have to invest according to your financial situation. So you got to consult your family, any financial advisors, look at your budget, look at your books. And you also have to qualify as a non-accredited or accredited investor as part of your steps. So as you go through that, you can make the determination of how much you actually invest into the fund. Do not overstretch yourself. Okay. Somebody said, you seem a bit on edge. What's wrong? I'm not on edge. Have you ever been following Jay Morrison? This is me. I'm not on edge. I'm quite jovial, and I'm excited, and I'm passionate, and I'm like invigorated by the opportunity that 6 days from now, when midnight strikes on April 29th, we will know where we stand in the history books. I'm excited. Listen, I'm a passionate guy. Like, that's just what it is. I'm gonna post some stuff tonight. Y'all ain't seen me on the front line. I go in, my energy's up, I'm high. Like, that's where I come from. So, you know, that's all. I'm not on edge. Let's see. Oh, somebody asked, brother, would a dividend payouts be yearly? So dividend payouts will be based on a quarterly basis. I'm fighting counsel for the opportunity to either pay them monthly when we have the opportunity, but we are looking to pay them at a quarterly basis, or really it's upon any opportunity that we have enough reserves in our account, we've been profitable in that quarter or that period we designated, we can pay out the dividend. So it's kind of management's discretion, but it's not our plan to pay them yearly. It's for us to pay them as best for the company, right? In essence. Gotcha. All right, let's see. Boop. Now you're done. All right, we're about to wrap up, man. We're going to do too long today. Any last questions? Can we reinvest those funds? I got to find out what our dividends, if there can be an automatic reinvestment of the dividends once our securities offering has closed. That's a great question that I'm not ashamed to say I need to ask counsel about. So I'll find out that answer. If you can reinvest your dividends in the future, although our fund capital raise is closed. I'm thinking not, we'll see. Our dividends are cumulative. How liquid is the fund? If I invest, how long do I have to be invested before I can take out my money? So we are not doing any fund rescissions this year. We have a rescission or refund policy where you can make a request, and based on where you're at in that order or any financial hardships or whatever, we assess the fund's health at that time and then make any rescissions. So it depends on what assets we got, what's going on at the time. If our capital is heavily invested, then we can't, right? It's just business 101. We can't invest what we don't have or what's not wise to invest. We are liquid. Our cash position is near $1 million, if not over $1 million of liquid cash, as well as many collateralized assets, about 5 million of collateralized assets that are free and clear with no mortgage. How long do the funds have to sit in an escrow before being invested into an account? So the escrow, when you invest, your funds sit in the escrow period, and that literally stays there. It depends on your city. It depends on how fast you qualify. If you passed your AML, anti-money laundering checks, if you passed your KYC. So it's kind of a case-by-case scenario how fast your funds are submitted from escrow. Somebody said, what do you think about blacks and browns being 12 tribes of Israel being attacked? I can't get into that right now. I live in Texas and would like to see the wall. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. For any Tulsa Real Estate Fund members, I'm gonna go check out the Founders Wall. Guys who are on Facebook, you all will have to go to Tulsa Real Estate Fund Instagram. We're gonna log out of Facebook. You gotta go to Tulsa Real Estate Fund Instagram. I'm gonna give you guys a tour, and I'm gonna show you the Founders Wall on Tulsa Real Estate Fund Instagram page. Follow the page, and for any founders, I'm gonna show you your name on the wall. If you're in here, let's go see your family name, your business name, and your legacy. So guys, Facebook, thank you all. Shout out for the love and support. By April 29th, midnight, investwithtreff.com. I'm about to go on an Instagram Tulsa Real Estate Fund tour of our building and our Founders Wall. Real quick, not the whole building. I ain't doing all that. But the Founders Wall and a little bit of us around here. I'm gonna show you guys that. Thank you all, man, for your tough questions. I appreciate it. Iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. Thank you all for your support, for your prayers, for your love. I appreciate your partnership. I look forward to what we can do together. And we are proof of group economics in real life. We ain't talk about it this generation. We ain't talk about it. We ain't blog about it. We ain't hashtag about it. We ain't theorize about it. We ain't pray about it with no works, because that's dead. Thank you all for taking action. I encourage, I'm open to you being, if you can afford it and you qualify to be our partner in this historic fund by April 29th, midnight, investwithtreff.com. Details on our site of our fund, portfolio, disclosures, frequently asked questions, videos, all that on our site. I'll see y'all there. All right, guys, tour time. King Jamie logging out. Live stream's done. Log me out, fam.
Logged out.
Water.